Hi everyone, I'm Vicki from Ann Arbor Vegan Kitchen, and today I'm going to be making for you sour cherry crisp. It's one of my very favorite desserts. So let's get started. We're going to start with 2 pounds of frozen tart cherries, and they're so beautiful already, aren't they? Oh, I just love these. So now to this, we're going to add 1/4 cup of sour cherry preserves. And I like to get the fruit sweetened kind, so there's no extra refined sugar in here. This is just all fruit. And then we're adding a little bit of tapioca flour, which is going to kind of thicken it up just a little bit, but not a lot. And then just a little bit of date syrup. And by the way, for the full recipe, you'll see the link below, and you can just head right over to Ann Arbor Vegan Kitchen for this recipe. And then we're going to add a dash of vanilla extract and almond extract. And that is our whole filling. And now we're just going to give this a good stir to combine all of these ingredients. And this is a really super easy recipe. These cherries don't even need to be thawed before we're going ahead with the recipe. And now we're going to have we're going to put this into the oven at 375 degrees, so you'll want to get your oven preheated if it isn't already. We're just giving this a nice mix so that everything is combined quite evenly, trying to gather up all of that lovely juices that we're going to be making with the cherries themselves and a little bit of this fruit sweetened jam, and then thickening it up just slightly with that tapioca and flavoring it with this wonderful vanilla and almond extract. And that's it. We've got our filling all prepared. We're going to put this now, I'm just going to move instead of the other way around. We're going to just bring our 9 by 13 pan close to us and fill a 9 by 13 ceramic. You could probably use glass or any other kind of baking dish you like. We're just going to put all of our filling in here. We're going to throw this into the oven and cook this until it's kind of nice and bubbly for about 30 minutes. I've got my oven preheated, so we're just going to go ahead and stick this lovely cherry filling to get it started in cooking into the oven for 30 minutes, and we'll come back and visit it in a few moments. Crisp. Now that that is in the oven baking, we can make our crisp topping. And so for that, we'll need a food processor. And so we're going to put into this either walnuts or pecans. I'm using a quarter, actually 3/8 of a cup, so that's 6 tablespoons of walnuts today, raw walnuts. You could use pecans or any other nut that you like. And then to that, I'm adding a little bit of crunchy fruit sweetened cereal, cornflakes. And this is kind of a magic ingredient that keeps that topping nice and crisp, which is one of the things we're looking for with our crisp topping. To this now, we'll be adding our other topping ingredients. So I've got some oats, and we've got a little bit of date syrup to sweeten this up. And we'll get all of that in here. Now we're going to add a little bit of almond butter. And this is, instead of adding oil, we're adding a little bit of nut butter. So now we're going to get some fiber and all the nutrition that's part of this nut butter. And if you're choosing to avoid nuts, you could certainly use sun butter instead. And now I'm adding a little bit of almond flour. And again, you could swap that out for something that you like better if you're choosing to avoid that. Now we've got a little bit of flax, tiny bit of vanilla, and just a drop of date sugar. And all of these ingredients together are going to kind of create our nice topping. So here we go. I'm going to make some noise for a second. And that's all there is to this. We've got our topping, which we'll come back and add after 30 minutes in the oven, and I'll show you how we finish it off. And I'm actually at this point going to put our it's bubbling away, and I'm actually going to lower our temperature now to 325 because our crisp, we want our topping to just be nice and scattered on top and just get nice and crispy without burning. So I'm lowering the temperature to 325 for our topping, and we're just going to gather this beautiful mixture of the dates and oats and nuts, and it's kind of like a big ball at this point of this delicious batter, and I'm just going to scatter it in little flakes on the top. So we don't have to be perfect about it. It's just space it out fairly evenly so that we're kind of covering, kind of mostly covering much of the cherries, having the topping be pretty much in a single layer so that it'll all get nice and crispy. And you don't need to use gloves. I'm just using gloves because the mixture is a bit sticky at this point. But now we've got this ready to put right back into the oven to get super crisp on top, and we'll see you in a moment. And I've just pulled this out of the oven, and it's so beautiful. I can't wait for this to cool off, and we'll dig into this and maybe put a little scoop of vanilla homemade ice cream on top. So thank you so much for joining me. Again, please like or subscribe below, and I hope you'll visit me at AnnArborVeganKitchen.com. Subscribe to my mailing list for new recipes as soon as they're published, and see you next time. Thanks again.